What's up, guys? My name's Ali A, and welcome to another Fortnite cringe. This is the Vainglory news. I would not do that to you guys. Anyways, welcome to another episode of the Vainglory news. I'll admit, I'm not going to be able to make these weekly, probably mostly because of my summer job. But anyways, we have some stuff to go over today, and first let's talk about Update 3.5, which is coming out on Wednesday. And the main focal point of Update 3.5 is going to be the new assassin hero, Anka. So Anka is the assassin that was hinted at in Grace and Kinetic's lore stories. So here I'm sure you've seen the spotlight, but if you haven't, I'll put some footage from the spotlight on the screen now. So let's talk about her abilities. Her perk is Githian Promise, and it means that after a short cooldown, Anka's next basic attack on an enemy hero becomes an execute strike, dealing bonus crystal damage to a percentage of the target's missing health. Additionally, Anka refreshes this execute strike and her first ability on getting a hero kill or assist. Her first ability is Shimmer Blade, where she throws a throwing knife in the target direction and it deals damage to the first enemy hit. Now, this ability doesn't do a lot of damage, but when the dagger hits the enemy, she can click the ability again to blink towards the victim. So this means if you hit somebody with a throwing knife and then touch the ability again, you will teleport behind them. Yes, I just said teleport behind them. Her B ability is called Dance of Blades. She throws 5 knives in a cone, dealing damage to all enemies the knives pass through. So you can hit the same target with multiple knives, but each one does less damage the more you hit on one target. Her ultimate is Mirage. She dashes in the target direction and splits off into 3 clones. So there are 4 of her, one of them is actually you. She becomes invulnerable during the dash and deals damage to enemies that she and the clones hit. So you can use this ability to dodge certain things. It's actually going to be really cool. I like this hero a lot. But anyways, after she splits into the clones, a short time afterwards, the clones all collide back into her from wherever they were, dealing damage to anybody they pass through. So if you ult, blink behind somebody, and then all of the clones rush back to you, they all deal massive damage to the person that you blinked behind. So those are Anka's abilities. Another notable thing in the Update 3.5 is the new social pings. They have added like these cute little minion and kraken and black claw type emotes. I don't know if they're going to cost money. I just thought they were kind of cool. People have been kind of criticizing these, saying, oh, how could you make these when other thing about the game is broken? We don't need this at all. But I don't think people who say that understand anything about game development, because when you have somebody whose job it is to make social pings and cute art, that person can't fix the servers, that person can't work on the matchmaking. Their job is to make social pings and cute art. You're just going to have them not work while somebody else is trying to fix the matchmaking? That's not how it works, guys, so please be better than that. Anyways, to move on to something a little bit more depressing, layoffs and departures at SEMC. So there's 3 of those, and they're all really sad. Fuji has left SEMC. Fuji was the esports director, which should worry you all, but before that, he wasn't just the esports director. Fuji has been in Vainglory since the beginning. As a player, as a streamer, eventually working for SEMC, as a community member. I can't remember a time when he wasn't in Vainglory. He was in the first ever Korean VIPL tournament as a part of Team Fusion. That was the team that Old School started his competitive career on. And yeah, so basically SEMC is without an esports director now. And with the recent stuff that's going on, that should make a lot of sense. Very depressing. Next, Just Insane is no longer with SEMC. I don't know whether this was a layoff, a firing, or him leaving, but I'm going to assume that it was a layoff because that's the least controversial explanation. He was a splash art artist and a skin artist. He was probably my favorite artist at SEMC. He's really good at what he does. Splash arts that he's made include, I'm sure he's made a ton more than which ones I specifically remember him for, but certain ones that he's made include Cloud Raider Vox Tier 1, Rona Tier 3, and many more. Most of the highest quality splash arts in this game were probably drawn by him, or even created by him at some point or another. He created a lot of the skin concepts that we know and love. So really sad to see him go. And lastly, Sugar Venom. Yeah. The writer and creator of all of Vainglory's lore. Now, people instantly started speculating about this, and there was some Twitter drama, and she responded on Twitter. So I copied and pasted all of those tweets into this script, and I'm going to read them out here. Because there's like some confusion. Was she actually laid off? Is this because she has cancer? Because apparently she has a brain tumor? But anyways, I'll read the tweets to you. Okay, so the outpouring of love made me super weepy. I can't actually talk about all of this yet, and I'm gonna stay quiet for a while. I'm really sorry for riling things up. I did not expect all of this love. One thing, though, I need to clear up. I do have a benign brain tumor, and it's not at all life-threatening. It doesn't interfere with anything, and I don't need treatment for it yet. My awesome doctor makes me get an MRI once a year to keep an eye on it, and that's all. There's no need to worry about me. Thanks to all of you who are the heart of Vainglory. I love you. So she doesn't actually give any information about if she still works at SCMC or not, but everything that I've been reading suggests that she's no longer with them. I'm really glad she doesn't have cancer, because that's what I initially thought, and I got really scared as soon as I jumped on Twitter this morning. But yeah, so what does this all mean? Basically, what it means to me is the game is leaving us all on red, like, you know, when somebody reads your message and doesn't respond, and we have no idea what to do. We have no idea what's going on. There has been 0 more communications in the VPL Discord, and if this keeps up, teams are probably going to start quitting for other games. Teams will probably move to Arena of Valor. Teams will probably move to Fortnite and PUBG Mobile. I know for one that Starting All Over has absolutely inhuman Fortnite stats. Like, he wins something like 55% of his Fortnite games. Like, he's not even human. So he could probably join a Fortnite esports team, like, now. But anyways, I'm not going to pretend like I stake my livelihood on this game. Like, because I don't. I have a summer job that pays me more in a week than I make on Vainglory in a month. But I'm really passionate about this game and the community and the esports. And right now, it feels like I'm being whipped around in a tornado of bad news and no communication. And that tornado is in space, where no one can hear you scream and nobody can talk to you and no one can tell you what's going on. Anyways, that was all really depressing. So we're going to have an intermission here for me to thank my patrons from Patreon, Shandara and Apfel. Thank you so much for your support on Patreon. Now, if you want to support me and be on this screen that I have up right now in every video, the link to do so is down there in the description. Again, Shandara and Apfel, thank you guys for your support. So, intermission over. Since I still feel like talking an amount of Vainglory news, I'm actually going to talk about some new animes that I just started watching. Don't ask why. Don't ask why I'm watching anime in general. Actually, you can't ask why, and it's because Truth got me into it. It's all his fault, okay? But anyways, I want to talk about some new ones that I just started watching, because I can't talk to anybody in real life about them without looking like, you know. I just feel like it, okay? I know some of you guys out there are weebs. So, number 1 is Overlord 3. There are 2 pre-seasons of this, and the first episode of the 3rd season came out on the day that I make this video. So basically, how do I explain this show? There's this dude, and he's like a grown-up software programmer with a dead-end job. He wastes basically all of his free time to get to like level infinity in a role-playing game, and then that gets shut down. So the servers are going to go down forever. All of the things his friends created in the game, him and his friends created, are going to be gone forever. So he stays in the game until the last second, and then the game doesn't actually stop. It's like he's actually crossed over from real life into the game, and all of the NPCs start to develop personalities, and a civilization develops in the world that was the game. So he realizes that all of the hours that he sunk into this game to make himself, like, overpowered means that he's pretty much God now over the NPCs, and he possesses powers that the NPCs can't even comprehend. So the show is about him realizing this, setting out to conquer the world. It's pretty funny. And it's also cool. I mean, like, it's an action comedy. it's like a juxtaposition of him trying to conquer the world and being insecure about whether or not he makes a good demonic overlord. So then number 2 is Hanabado. I don't know if I'm going to be able to pronounce any of these names correctly. Anyways, this show is about badminton players. I didn't think that that was a thing that happened until I watched this show. There are really only 2 episodes so far, so I can't really say a lot about the show, other than that the animation is amazing, and the story seems like it's going to be really good. So if you like sports stuff, feel free to check that one out. Number 3 is called Cells at Work. If you remember that old show on Cartoon Network when you were kids, like where it was all like inside your body, but it was a cartoon, this is like that, but it's like way better and way funnier. This show really speaks for itself, and it's hard to describe, but like the first episode is about germs invading the lungs and trying to give the body a cold, and like all of there's white blood cell characters, red blood cell characters. It's hard to explain, but the whole episode is about the body trying to kill germs and like make sure that they don't give you a cold by getting into your lungs. Like all of the medical details in this show are so correct, it's hilarious. Every single detail of the show is down to the science, but you don't need to know all the science to enjoy it. Number 4 is called Asobi Asobase. I was not going to watch this show originally because it was tagged as a drama and the only protagonists were high school girls. But then I read on Reddit that it was mistagged somewhere, so I decided to try watching it. And holy shit, I have never laughed so hard at any show ever. Every single character in this show has severe mental issues, from the girl with pigtails who wants to quote-unquote kill all normies, to the blonde girl who has a complex where she thinks she's an American exchange student even though she was born and raised in Japan. Honestly, you should go watch this show right now because it's funny as hell. Number 5 is called Angels of Death. Not really much to say about this one other than that it's really dark. There's only 1 episode so far, and the first episode tells you nothing about the plot, nothing about the background, but it's very scary and it'll leave you wanting more. So yeah, that's all of them. I guess it's about time to be wrapping up this video. Thanks for listening. If you listened past the intermission, feel free to call me a weeb in the comments, but I know for one that I am not, because I would never want to go live in Japan. I only want to live in the United States of America. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys all next time.